So today we have the universal AVX tower, new from Roswell, and also the Sun-Top bimini to work with the AVX tower, and we're going to go over the installation with you guys. So the parts included with your Sun-Top bimini are going to be your canvas. You have three main pieces here. The boot, it's also three pieces, two straps, your main frame and your middle bow, plus your hardware. The tools needed to do the Sun-Top is going to be a drill with a Phillips bit. You're going to have a 832 tap kit, 9/64 drill bit for that. Your 3/32 Allen key, some red Loctite, and a measuring tape. Now that you have all your materials laid out, your tools ready to go, we'll go ahead and walk you through the steps to do this. First step is going to be installing your fittings. You're going to take your quick release fitting with the plastic shim that we provided. It has a coped side that'll fit to the tower. You're going to go up to the area where the pilot holes are already set in the tower tubing. You will drill and tap these two holes and then install the quick release fitting. It should be oriented with the release button facing down. And be sure to use red Loctite on these screws. Your pad eye fittings come with flathead self-tappers. You're just going to use 2 of these per pad eye and run those in the pilot holes that are already located in the tower tubing. Now that we got the fittings all installed on the tower, we're going to measure our width from the quick release connection point. We'll go center to center on each tube here. .80 1/4. So now that we have our measurements, we're going to set the main frame. We're going to use the larger collar on the main frame, which has the deck hinges facing up. It also has quick release fitting end caps on each end. And we're going to set this so it's symmetric so that you have an even distance on each side of the collar. All right, bring it in. Set that. Good, that looks good. So now that we have the main frame set to the right width, we're just going to confirm that we're symmetric on either side and make sure that we have the same length of tubing sticking out on each side of the collar. So I have a small section of straight here, and we have a similar straight section on this side. It looks good. We'll just double confirm here that our measurement's still good. Yep, looks good. And now we can run our self-tappers in. So there's 2 holes on each end of the collar here. You're going to want to run your self-tappers through on the outsides for one side of the collar and on the insides for the other side of the collar so that your screws don't hit each other internally. Now we're going to go ahead and measure between the fittings and we'll get our width for the middle bow. Okay, we're at 74 inches even. So now we can go ahead and set our middle bow to 74 inches. Okay. Now we're just going to need to confirm that we're symmetric. I have 10 inches of straight pipe on each side, so it looks like we're good. Now we can run our self-tappers in. So now that we ran our self-tappers into the middle bow, we're set up to build our frame. We'll slide the fittings in, put our quick release pins in to lock the ball into place, and now we have our main frame set. So the next step is going to be the canvas. So your bimini has 3 different settings. The canvas has 3 Velcro strips on each side for you to select these settings. Since our tower is in the narrow position, we're going to go with the narrow setting. And how you can determine this is if your center section is slid all the way in, you'll be at the narrow position. If you're 5 inches out, you're going to be going to the middle position. And if you're closer to 10 inches out, you'll be going to the widest position. Let's go ahead and set the canvas now. This is a 2-person job. You're going to want to pull from each end so that it's nice and straight and come across the Velcro and lay it on nice and even. There it is. All right. So now we're going to set the bimini boot. It's the same thing. We have 3 positions here. We're going to choose the narrowest setting for our boot. Okay. So now that the frame and the fabric is set and ready, we're going to go ahead and put them together, get the fabric on the frame, and then we can mount it to the tower. So we'll unvelcro this, and we can set the frame in. And we'll create the pocket like that. So now that we're putting the frame with the fabric, we have the fabric upside down right now, so we're going to do deck hinges down. We're going to lay it in where the pocket is, and then we're also going to feed the straps up and through this hole. So you can loop the strap over the end of the frame, feed it right up past the deck hinge, take the strap and go right out the hole. That's going to keep it in place. And then we can Velcro our pocket down to the first row of Velcro. That additional row there is for if you were looking for more tightness in the setting, you could go further with it. But the first setting should be good. I want to make sure this is nice and straight and flat. Straps are coming out the holes. We're looking good. Place the ball socket into the fitting, lock it in with the quick release pin. Now we have our frame and fabric assembled. We can go ahead and come over to the tower, click the quick release fittings right into the fittings we mounted to the tower. Then we'll take the front portion of the bimini, and it's going to come up over the front portion of the tower, and the Velcro is going to loop around this front section. Once you get to the cross members in the tower, there'll actually be breaks in the Velcro, and this is so that you can wrap right around where those members are and still attach your Velcro to the inside. Now we're going to take our straps. They're going to connect to the pad eyes, so we're going to set the length on those to the proper length so that it's providing some good pull on here, but not too much. And your bimini set up. So those are the basic steps to set up your Sun-Top bimini. Now we're going to show you how to boot it. First thing to do is pull the straps, release these. We can collapse the bimini forward. Use the straps to wrap the canvas around the tower. And then you can just strap it to itself. Then we're going to grab the boot. Boot's going to go right over everything, over the tower. You got the tow head here in the center. It's going to wrap around that. And then we'll zip it right here in the rear. Start with your 2 zippers on the outside. These are going to zip in towards the middle. Then your 3rd zipper will be here on the last one, closing off the boot. Now that's booted. So that was your basic install method for the Sun-Top bimini. One thing to remember, whenever you're traveling, trailering your boat, make sure you're always in the booted position with your bimini. And if you have any questions on any of this, you can always contact us at roswellwakeair.com.